Thank you for watching the third video in the FAST volunteer series. If you haven't watched the why or the what, please be sure to go back and watch those. And this video is the how. So we're going to start off with how can I succeed? So some of you guys may be thinking about, a little worried and a little apprehensive about how can I succeed with helping out with Fine Arts Sports Camp. So one of the ways you guys can succeed is to encourage the kids. So the kids need to be loved, and you guys, the best way to do that is by encouraging them, and that can be in either success or in failure or just in general everyday type of things. Just encourage the kids, help them to know that they're loved by talking with them, and encourage them to do their best there. Another good thing you can do is by keeping things short and sweet. Some of you guys probably know that kids have a super short attention span. So by keeping things short and sweet and simple, you have the ability to making a much bigger impact than if you say a whole bunch of words. So by common rule, if you say a kid's average attention span is about the number of their age. So a 5-year-old probably has a max attention span of about 5 minutes. A 10-year-old probably has a max attention span of about 10 minutes. So as a general rule of thumb, that's probably the best bet. So keep things short and keep things simple, and you'll be all right in that way. Another good thing for you guys to do is to be personal with the kids. So ask questions with them, get to know them on a personal level, ask about their family, ask about school, ask about what they're excited about, things they've done this summer. Just get to know them on a personal level because the kids will love that. By building a relationship with you, you get to build trust with them, and it gives you a much bigger impact when you share the gospel with them as well. So be sure to connect with the kids as well. Another important thing is to be an example. So you guys have the opportunity to be really hands-on with the kids. So be an example with the kids. Help them to know and they're loved, and help them really just by your words, by your actions. Just be an example that the kids can actually look up to. Another big thing you can do is pray for the kids, pray for yourself, and also pray that God will move. There's a lot of things in this Fine Arts Sports Camp. It just needs to be bathed in prayer. So if you guys can be praying about Fine Arts Sports Camp, about the kids, and even for yourself, please be sure to be doing that, because that is one of the biggest ways to succeed, because we won't be able to do this without God's help. So be sure you're praying during the entire week as well, because I'd greatly appreciate it. So please be sure you're praying. Another thing you guys may be asking questions about is you don't really know how to connect with all of kids. And there's a couple pretty simple ways for you to do that. One of the biggest one is to be friendly and smile with the kids. If you're going to be looking at the kids and you're not smiling, you're looking kind of grumpy and not really desiring to be there at all, the kids will know that. So if you want to connect well with the kids, smile with them. Have some fun with them. That's really just a general great way to connect with people in general, but especially with kids. Kids aren't going to be attracted to you if you're not looking like you're having a good time. Another way is just to ask questions with them, start conversation with them, figure out what they're interested in, and then learn about what they're interested in and have conversations with them about what they're interested in. It's pretty important just to connect well with the kids, so ask questions and get to know them and smile. Another thing you're going to do is just listen with your full attention. Kids are so often pushed aside, especially from kids from unhealthy homes. So by listening with your full attention, it really shows that you care about them, that you're invested in them. So when you're listening to them, listen with your full attention. Don't be sidetracked with all these different things. Focus on them and let them know that you are listening to them and that you care about them. Another good way to connect with kids is don't be afraid to be silly. Kids love to have fun, so feel free to have fun as well. Don't live up to the persona you put yourself up to. Be sure just to get down with the kids and just have fun with them. So have some fun, tell some jokes. If you don't have some jokes there, look some up, why not? So have fun with the kids and don't be afraid to be silly with them. Another thing you can do is just get down on their eye level. So by looking kids in the eye and getting down their level, it allows you to connect a lot better with them. Kids are often always looking up to people that it feels a little hard for them to really open up with them. So by getting down their eye level, it shows that you care about them, and that shows that you're giving them the full attention that they deserve. So be sure to get down their eye level, and once again, encourage them success, encourage them in failure as well. So those are some of the things that you can do to connect well with the kids. Some of you guys may also have some fears about dealing with a problematic child. So this is a general 4-step plan for you to follow. So if you have a child who's acting up or not doing a great job listening, or maybe they're talking when they're supposed to be listening during that time period there, here's just a general four-step plan for them, for you to deal with them. First thing first is just move close to the child if they're causing disturbance or being a little bit problematic. This is just going to help them be aware of, oh wait, I got to refocus here. A lot of problems are actually solved that way by just moving closer with them. It does a much better job just being generally close to the child. And if they know what they're doing is they're not supposed to do, they'll end up stopping. If they continue to be a little bit of a disturbance, just clearly ask the child to stop and just redirect their attention to what they're supposed to be doing, or help them see something else they could be doing instead of what they are doing or causing issues that way. Oftentimes things are once again resolved during that time, but if it persists, feel free to remove them from the situation that they're in. So if they're surrounded by a bunch of their friends and they're causing a disturbance, don't be afraid to ask them to move and sit next to you over the other side of the room so they'll no longer be able to be disturbance there. Or remove them from the class if they are causing some massive issues as well. And if the problem really persists and has not resolved after those 3 steps, feel free to reach to a higher up, so the large group leader, or even myself as well. My contact information will be in the folder, so if you check that folder out, my contact information will be in there. So feel free to reach out to me, and I will help deal with the situation as well. But once again, most of the problems will be resolved in the first 3 steps, and hopefully we'll never have to come to step number 4. But that's just a general 4-step plan for you if you're afraid of dealing with a problematic child. That's your 4-step plan right there, so take it to heart there. So there's also some things we might be doing to learning how to appropriately interact with kids. A lot of these kids we don't know. A lot of these churches don't come from church backgrounds. A lot of these kids we have no connection with other than they're coming to find our sports camp. So it's super important that we treat the kids appropriately. So we're putting ourselves above reproach for any sort of things that could possibly cause issues. So there's a do's and don't list here. So things you can do: side hugs. Allow the child to lean against you if they initiate it. High fives, fist bumps are awesome if the kids are doing a good job. Encourage the kids by talking with them. Make sure you get to know the kids' names and use them when speaking with them. They will have name tags, so I'll make things a little bit easier for you. But make sure you're doing that and using the child's name. Another thing you can do is just to model Christ-like behavior. That's really all-encompassing. If Christ wouldn't do it, odds are you probably shouldn't be doing it either. So some big no-nos. Just once again, for kids that you know, I can understand, but overall, please be following this do's and don'ts list. So don't things are giving kids full frontal hugs. We just want to put ourselves above reproach. So no full frontal hugs. Don't allow a child to sit on your lap, even if they want to. You can have them sit beside you, but no on the lap. Once again, we don't want to be causing any sort of eyebrows to be raising or anything like that. So we're putting ourselves above reproach. Don't touch the kid in the head or the groin region. That's pretty well understood there. Just general no-no places to be going to. Also, we don't want to be putting down kids or making fun of them. We're supposed to be here to encourage kids, build connections with them, and we're sharing the gospel with them. If we're putting the kids down or making fun of them, we're really shooting ourselves in the foot if we're trying to be sharing the gospel with them in that way. Don't be creating nicknames of your own. If a child has a nickname they want you to call, feel free to call them that, but do not be making any of them on your own. Use a child's name or the nickname that they give you, but do not be coming up with any of your own. It's a little bit disrespectful to the child, so we don't want to be causing any issues in that front there. And also, once again, no crude language, inappropriate gestures, or behaving in a self-serving manner. We're here for the kids, so we want to make sure the kids are having a good time. We're not here for ourselves. We're not here to glorify ourselves. We're here to glorify God, and we're here to serve the kids. So make sure those two things right there are major priorities for us. Some of you guys may also be asking and wondering the question, how do I share Christ with the kids? If we're here to be serving Christ, how do I do it? So 2 main things. You can do some verbally stuff and you can do some non-verbally things. So we'll start with the non-verbal, your general actions and attitude, and your attention. So for your actions, the way you talk, the way you act, and the way you treat the kids goes miles and miles. If you're using language that's pretty inappropriate, you're really shooting yourselves in the foot there. If you're acting in a way that's not really appropriate, you're shooting yourself in the foot there. Um, just the way you treat the kids is super important. If you're going to be sharing Christ with them, treat them as respectful. For attitude, make sure you're showing the kids you care. Do you really care about what's going on? Do you really care about the Bible teaching and about this Jesus that we're learning about? If you're not paying attention during that time period, odds are the kids aren't going to care too much either. So make sure you're paying attention and modeling good behavior for the kids there. And make sure the kids know that they're cared for by giving them attention. And when you are paying attention with them, give them your full attention. And for verbal stuff, sharing gospel with the kids. So one of the easy ways to share the gospel with kids, and this is in your folder as well, so you can be on the lookout for that, is the ABCs. So A, admit you're a sinner, admit you're broken, admit you're in need of help, and admit you're separated from God. You can't get to them any other way. B is believe that Jesus came down from heaven. He lived a perfect life. He died and he rose again to save you and to give you a chance to go to heaven with him. And it's a gift that you have to accept. So C is confess. So say you're sorry to God for your past sins. You believe everything he did was true, and to really live for him and tell others about him as well. So that's the easy basic ABC method. That'll be in your better instructions will be in your volunteer folder, so be on the lookout for that as well. So guys, I just want to say thank you for volunteering for Fine Arts Sports Camp. We won't be able to do this without you, and we're really looking forward to you to be here. And if you haven't watched the other 2 videos, be sure to go back and take a look at those. And thank you so much for being a part of Fine Arts Sports Camp. Thank you guys.